GCSE Business Studies. Today we're going to look at how to answer the explain type questions, and we're going to be focusing on the June 2014 Unit 1 exam paper. So, just to get you started, okay, and just to remind you of the importance of this, it's really, really important that you read each case study carefully and look for clues that will help you answer your questions. Okay, so as you can see here, this is a typical case study that you'll come across. And this is all about Colin and Kira, and the theme was to do with their house painting business. Okay, so what you've seen there is a good practice to highlight some key information, some clues, and what you're trying to do is build up a picture in your head as what do we know about Colin and Kira. Okay, so what do we know? Alright, we know that the houses and the area that they live in need painting. They've just left college, okay, which means they are inexperienced. Okay, they ask parents and friends for advice. The legal structure, thinking of setting up as a private limited company or a partnership. They know that there's a nearby town that has larger houses and wealthy people, but in order to work there, they would need a small van. There might be competition there, and to borrow money, they decided to see a bank manager. So to get full marks in this question, okay, you need to make sure all your answers are about Colin and Kira's situation. Okay, I cannot stress how important this is. Every answer needs to be about Colin and Kira. Okay, it's all about them. If you don't do this, you're going to throw away some silly marks. So, explain. It's a very common question in your exam paper, as you are aware. Okay, so the way you structure your answer, you're going to meal each paragraph. So you make a point, you then explain it. Then you do the effects, so what impact is that having on that point, and then you link it. So you make sure your answer is in the context of the case study. In this situation, it's all about Colin and Kira. So you make a point, explain it, you do the effect, and you link it. So, the first question is as follows. Explain one benefit of setting up the business as a partnership. So, how do you answer the question? Again, you use your meal technique, okay? So you start off by making a point. So one benefit of setting up a partnership is, and you give your reason. Your second sentence should start with the word "this is because," and then you explain why. And then your third sentence should start with the words "as a result." Okay, so what impact is that going to have on Colin and Kira? So a typical example, an answer would look like this. So one benefit of setting up the partnership is more money. This is because Colin and Kira can provide their own funds to help get the business started. As a result, it will be easier and quicker for them to get their house painting business up and running. Okay, so look, I've made a point. I've explained it using "this is because," and then what impact, okay, is it going to have on Colin and Kira? So as a result, very powerful connective to make sure you talk about impact and effect. Second question. So explain, again, how market research could be used to see if there's sufficient demand in the nearby town. Now this is a 4-mark question, okay, so I would do one reason for this, making sure you do kind of your chain of effects, your in-depth analysis. So, structuring your answer, it's the meal technique again. So make a point, so a questionnaire could be used to see if there's sufficient demand in the nearby town. You then explain it, saying "this is because," and then you do the impact, so what impact is it going to have? Use your connective there. A very simple one again is "as a result." So how does this answer look like? So a questionnaire could be used to see if there's sufficient demand in the nearby town. I've made a point. Okay, you now need to explain that. This is because if they ask people their thoughts and opinions, they could find out whether or not they would use their house painting business. So you've explained what your point is. You now need to talk about what impact, what is the effect of this. So as a result, it'll be easy for Colin and Kira to decide the best location for them to set up, resulting in them being able to target potential customers sooner rather than later. See the way I have a double effect here, it's a knock-on effect, chain of effects, very, very important. So I've made a point, I've explained it, and then I've done the impact effect, so as a result, and then I finished it off here by resulting in. So it's like a double effect. And obviously my answer is linked and it's in the context of Colin and Kira's situation. Finally, another explain question here. It's 6 marks this time, so my advice would be to give 2 reasons, even though it says it in the question, but sometimes it might not. For 6 marks, I'd always give 2 reasons. Alright, so the question is, explain 2 factors that will influence where Colin and Kira locate their house painting business. So, again, how do I answer the question? Meal. Everything is meal. You make a point, you explain it, you do the effect, and you're linking it, making sure it's in the context of Colin and Kira. So one factor that will influence where they set up their house painting business is, give a reason, then you explain it again using this is because, and then what is the effect of this, so as a result, and you give your reasons. So, what does the answer look like? So the first paragraph you're going to talk about is as follows. So one factor that will influence where they set up their house painting business is the cost of where to locate. This is because if they choose a nearby town which has bigger houses, this would mean they would need a van. So what is the effect of this? So as a result, they will have increased costs, which could result in Colin and Kira having to increase their house painting prices to account for this, thereby making it harder for them to break even. Okay, so look at that paragraph, how I've made a point. This is very, very, very important. I've then explained it, and then the effect here, chain of effects. So as a result, which could result in, okay, thereby, alright, all of these are powerful connectives that allow you to do analysis. And the last paragraph then is, another factor is the amount of competition. This is because if competition in the nearby town is already established, it will be harder for them to find houses to paint. So I've explained my point. Okay. Now again, what is the impact? What is the effect? So as a result, they will find it difficult to attract customers and sales, which could lead to them going bust. Okay. So I've made a point. I've explained it, and I've done my impact effect analysis here. Okay. So thank you very much. Make sure you practice. Okay. Best of luck.